Everyone has their favorite Pokemon. It's one of the things that make Pokemon fans so interesting and fun to talk to. I've heard it all, from normal and popular choices to funny and weird ones. Sometimes I find it even more interesting how much a person can dedicate themselves to their favorite, which is a lot harder to voice. I once had a friend whose favorite Pokemon was Mewtwo, and he made it a habit to gift new friends he made with shiny Mewtwo's. It was really nice and it was unique to him, a giving person and dedicated fan of the original Game Boy games. So, in its own way, your favorite Pokemon is a reflection of yourself. I've never seen a favorite that doesn't perfectly fit the person, and I like to say that my favorites can reflect me pretty well too, even if I can't really take apart the meanings myself. If you've watched my previous videos, you're likely aware that my favorite Pokemon is Electivire. The video itself is already a little outdated since it had no script and I was congested, but to summarize, he's cool, big, and the face of power in Pokemon. But he's also helped me through thick and thin in multiple games, and for that, he's really awesome. It goes on, but it's not important. What if I told you though, that Electivire was actually fighting for the first place spot in my heart, and that my second favorite Pokemon is just a little more strange? Without further ado, who's bored? I'm bored. And today is a dive into my second favorite Pokemon, Simipour, or rather, just a thought salad. This video doesn't really have a set structure and is more so just me talking about my thoughts and love for Simipour. To start, I just think it's one of the cutest Pokemon. It looks like a monkey surfer girl with its big curls and chill eyes, but also looks silly with its little dress and pose. It's not meant to look like the strongest thing on Earth, but it also feels weirdly reliable and bulky. Similar to Electivire, Simipour has just never really failed me before no matter where I use it, and I literally can't explain why. It's really not that strong, at least that's what I've been thinking this whole time, until I realized that it had a hulking speed of 101. For perspective, it outspeeds Reshiram, Zekrom, all three Kyurems, and Ho-Oh, and barely outspeeds both Mega Charizards and Landorus. While all three monkeys share this speed, Simipour easily does the most with it by having the best moveset and utility, so there's no wonder why it keeps taking over as my best Pokemon in all games I play easily. One of my favorite games to use my favorite chunky monkey in has to be Radical Red. It's a Fire Red difficulty ROM hack that basically does everything in its power to make the game a pain to play through. It's insanely fun and tedious at the same time, but Simipour was pretty easily obtainable and made everything way more fun. If there was anywhere that you would expect Simipour to crumble, it would be here, but it didn't falter even once. And no, I wasn't playing with the special ability that it was given for the hack. I was just using normal old Simipour. Gym after gym it helped me, somehow standing up against the ridiculous odds of the challenge, and as my party swapped around over and over, I never even considered moving it. It was super nice and awesome to see Simipour beating huge enemies and standing on its own. And hey, a few weeks after writing this script, which is right now when I'm editing it, I went for another round of Radical Red, and even though I stopped at the difficulty spike again, Simipour utterly decimated everything it touched. Truly a crazy Pokemon. Maybe me talking about it in a ROM hack is a little lame, but it basically had the same, if not better, performance in all its starring games. I've used plenty of water types in X and White, and nothing comes close. It's the speed and early access to such great moves that make it just stand out. And the early game strength gained by getting such a powerful attacker is crazy. It's been on both of my post-game parties and I'm hoping to keep that momentum going into Legend CA. Admittedly, it hurts to see that it's been completely absent from all Switch games until now, but I'll keep repping it like I always have. Simipour really does remind me of the Black and White days, so warning, Zoomer nostalgia incoming. Unova was really special to me, and don't worry, I can put it into words. It was colorful, filled to the brim with creative Pokemon, and absolutely oozed with endless attitude. It had a similar vibe to Kanto where it just felt endless, and every single Pokemon was memorable. Simipour especially, to me, feels reflective of that energy, and really encompasses what a favorite Pokemon truly is. It's a personal thing that reflects your experiences and history. Simipour is one of many Unovan Pokemon, but it's my Unovan Pokemon. It's not the best of the best and it never will be, but it's my old reliable that just refuses to let me down. I don't struggle to keep it around, it just works, and reminds me of my childhood and how much I've grown every time I look at it. Hilariously, it wasn't my childhood favorite. I always wanted to use it, but I was just too dumb to make it work, and too impatient to just wait till level 22 for it to learn Scald. But every time I saw it, I knew it was awesome. And now that I've grown smarter and more patient, I've earned the right to use it. That reminds me, I have 2 Simipour in Pokemon Go. Why? Because I just like it. You could argue that it's a waste of time, and I could easily argue that you're wrong. I didn't really know where to mention it in the video, but there you go. Now I have to wait for another Unova stone because I had sacrificed my last one to Musharna, which hurt more than words can describe. So, that's my insane deep dive into Simipour. I love talking about it so much that I don't want to end the video, especially since I don't know when I'll get to talk about it again. I'll always want to inspire positivity with my channel, and talking about Pokemon I love is a great way to do it. Simipour is everything I like in a Pokemon, down to its last detail. It's cute, cool, and strong. It represents where I've started and how far I've come, and it's a jolly little guy that I always want by my side no matter what. Pokemon might be nothing but a video game at the end of the day, but it's topics like this that make talking about it so much fun. A video like this is also a way for me to show love to a rarely thought about and seldom seen Pokemon, and it won't be my last because I want to encourage others to do the same. Not in a video necessarily, but by finding creative and silly ways to appreciate them and then sharing it with people. If I can somehow find a way to materialize my love for a Pokemon that hasn't been relevant for nearly 13 years, then you can too, but I suppose I digress. Remember to follow my Tumblr and Blue Sky for art, and my Wattpad, fanfiction, and AO3 for fanfictions. All my socials are bored in a good way, don't forget the underscores, and I always try to respond to DMs. You want to face me in Showdown? I'm trainer_bored and usually available every now and again. And remember, always stay bored.